your screen. Those are Burleson PD, the two white ones with police on the side in dark color. Those are Cleburne. They were the ones involved in the chase. We don't have confirmation, but you get one look at the scene and where the police tape is, and a fair assumption is that truck that is facing away from the screen, that one right there, is the likely suspect vehicle, part and parcel as well, because the front of that Cleburne PD officer vehicle, the SUV, is literally rammed into the side of the truck. So this could be the beginning of when that suspect jumped out of the truck. And our understanding from there, from at least one witness who we have spoken with, is that that suspect came to the doors and I believe inside the Sam's Club here in make that Burleson. And I want to play a piece of sound, and you're going to hear from a young man named Dylan. He is a Sam's Club employee. And what he is about to describe to you, because I heard the interview as it was coming in, is one extraordinarily dramatic moment that has unfolded literally at the doors of the Burleson Sam's Club within the last hour, not only in front of this young man, Dylan, who you're going to hear from, but everybody else, from customers to employees of the Sam's Club who were inside to the police officers who were outside involved in the chase. Take a listen to what Dylan describes as the moment everything went crazy inside this Sam's Club.
I saw cop cars pulling up, sirens, and I go looking around because I'm at the front door, so I get a pretty good view of the parking lot, and I'm wondering what's going on. And I hear popping, it's not recognizing with my brain for a second, so I'm like, what's going on? Next thing you know, I see some of our coworkers run in, like scared of their life, and start falling, and I'm like, oh crap. I'm staying there frozen. And then next thing you know it, a guy walks in, wearing a white sleeve shirt, no sleeves, and then all of a sudden he has a rifle, what appears to be a shotgun, in his right hand, and he fires a shot at the police officers that were at the door shooting at him. And next thing you know it, I ran to the fire exit, ran the bathroom, and everyone's just screaming. Everyone dropped their stuff, ran, and then there's about like 7 more shots that carried out.
You hear these shots, is it like bam bam, or is it bam 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 bam? Like,
it was like multiple pistols, multiple shots fired at once, but his was the loudest since he entered the building and shot at the police officers that were right at the entrance. So I got like a pretty good view of his stature, what he looked like from the back at least.
Tell me what's going through your head, what's in your heart, what's all this?
Is this real? Like, why is it happening here? I've been here all my life in Burleson, so I just none of this really ever occurs to me that it would happen. And the moment I saw the shots fired, I run and I'm like, oh, please don't turn around. Can I make it out of here? This is my first day of college, so I was like, I just started like my education. I want to make it out of here alive. So.
Wow. Wow, an extraordinary thought from that young man, Dylan, working inside this Sam's Club in Burleson, where an officer has been shot tonight but is confirmed as stable at a hospital. A suspect involved who, as Dylan just told us, made his way through the doors and inside the Sam's Club in Burleson, but facing outward in this gun battle, as was described, with the police officers. That suspect was shot and is dead. We can confirm that. That is confirmed by Burleson PD. But the takeaway from Dylan there, his thought, I think almost any of us would have in a moment like this where it's just an ordinary night, you're popping into Sam's Club either to grab something or you're working there and it's just another night. And in his case, he talks about his first day of college, and the words he said were sobering. Is this real? These are moments that we can never, ever plan for. And when it happens, Dylan, I think, gave us a great description of the absolute chaos that ensues. The first thought, holy cow, is this real? And then the second thought, as he described it, customers and employees all racing for cover inside that Sam's Club, whether it be in the back stock rooms or behind, behind anything they could get behind, as you'd well imagine. And anybody within eyesight, not only Dylan, but anybody else who may have been within eyesight of this shooter who came in with, as Dylan described it, a rifle of sorts in his hands. One can only fathom the fear and the panic when you're faced with a moment like that. So he describes it all in his own words. My understanding is we now have some video that has come in. Adrian, do we know who shot this video? The first thing I want to ask you, Adrian's our producer in the booth. A witness. We don't have a name, but let's play this. And Dennis, let's bring the sound full and listen if we could.
Oh, oh my God.
Wow. You watch that video, a tremendous amount of people coming out of the front and also the side exit doors of this Sam's Club in Burleson and running for their lives, as we saw. Wow, extraordinary moments. Again, let me reset for you. We're outside the Sam's Club here in Burleson. We've got the chopper overhead. The two white police vehicles you see, they're not Burleson. They are Cleburne police officers who were chasing what we believe to be that truck. Looks like maybe blue in the middle, right behind the police tape. One of the police officers' SUVs looks like it banged into the side of it, maybe to get them to stop. But then that suspect bails out. And as we heard in an interview just a little bit ago with the young man Dylan, who works at the Sam's Club, the suspect being chased all the way from Cleburne runs inside the Sam's Club, and there I see one open door there off to the left, so maybe that was the door of entrance that got him into the Sam's Club, rifle in hand. And then this extraordinary exchange of gunfire that was described to us. Too many rounds to count, it sounded like, and it sounded as though multiple officers were firing from outside. That's the sense I got from Dylan, from what he heard as far as the shots being volleyed. But he said by far the loudest were the shots that were fired from inside the Sam's Club, where this person was firing that rifle back at police officers, we would obviously presume, in the scenario that was playing out. We're looking at what is likely investigators now moving in, maybe some boxes there or something to gather evidence. This will be a very long and a very long drawn-out night at this Sam's Club. I promise you there will be no more opening of the doors here tonight. Investigations like this, especially involving an exchange of gunfire and on top of that a death, this will be very time-consuming. Investigators will be here throughout this night, if not into early tomorrow morning. An extraordinary police presence, as you'd well imagine. Cleburne officers coming and Burleson officers there. My understanding is that the Texas Rangers have already been called in to investigate what happened here. So they are on the scene as well. Trying to get a good look at the side of the vehicle. I can't see any writing. So not too certain who these folks are, but clearly involved in some way in what's happening here in the investigation. But things have calmed down tremendously. But certainly, when you put yourself in the boots or the shoes of those who were inside, whether you were an employee or whether you were a customer, what does that say? Crime scene. Yep. So those are investigators. That's a crime scene SUV. So they're gathering what they need at the crime scene, and they'll be the ones who collect all the evidence to make sure nobody enters or exits areas where they need to collect evidence. So again, that'll be a long process. But going back to what my thought was, so many people inside here, from employees to customers tonight, and out of the blue. And isn't this how it always happens? Completely out of the blue, in a place, as Dylan described. He said, hey, I've lived in Burleson my whole life. I'm kind of paraphrasing, but Dylan said, I've lived in Burleson my whole life. This doesn't happen here. And tonight it did. And that's a very sobering thought, especially for a young man who is just starting college. So Dylan's probably 21, 22 years old, just starting in college and working here at night to save some money, I would presume. Sam's Club employee. And on this night at work, somebody walked in with a rifle and had a gunfire exchange, just a volley of gunshots between that man who came in and the police officers who were outside. For those who, Adrian, I'm going to ask if we could re-roll the Dylan sound, because anybody on this stream, if you've just joined us in the last few minutes, I keep kind of quoting this young man Dylan, who we spoke with, and he describes in perfect wording exactly what he saw, what he heard, and also what he felt when this gunman with a rifle came into the Sam's Club earlier this evening, and we have no idea if this gunman planned any harm to anybody inside the store. We don't know that, but this gunman, almost without question, intended to do harm to the police officers who were chasing him, and I say him, we don't have confirmation, male or female, so I'll apologize for that, chasing this person, but then the gunfire ensues, and it's all aimed at police officers outside. This is Dylan, Sam's Club employee. In his own words, what happened tonight inside those doors at the Sam's Club in Burleson?
Saw cop cars pulling up, sirens, and I go looking around.
I'll go to him after this.
At the front door, so I get a pretty good view of the parking lot, and I'm wondering what's going on. And I hear popping. It's not recognizing with my brain for a second. So I'm like, what's going on? Next thing you know, I see some of our coworkers run in, like scared of their life, and start falling. And I'm like, oh crap! I'm staying there frozen. And then next thing you know, a guy walks in, wearing a white sleeve shirt, oh no sleeves, and then all of a sudden he has a rifle, what appears to be a shotgun, in his right hand, and he fires a shot at the police officers that were at the door shooting at him. And next thing you know, I ran to the fire exit, ran the bathroom, and everyone's just screaming. Everyone dropped their stuff, ran, and then there's about like 7 more shots that carried out.
You hear these shots, is it like bam bam, or is it bam 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 bam? Like
it was like multiple pistols, multiple shots fired at once, but his was the loudest since he entered the building and shot at the police officers that were right at the entrance. So I got like a pretty good view of his stature, what he looked like from the back at least.
Tell me what's going through your head, what's in your heart, what's all this?
Is this real? Like, why is it happening here? I've been here all my life in Burleson, so I just none of this really ever occurs to me that it would happen. And the moment I saw the shots fired, I run and I'm like, oh, please don't turn around. Can I make it out of here? This is my first day of college, so I was like, I just started like my education. I want to make it out of here alive.
So the very sobering words of that young man, Dylan, an employee there at the Sam's Club in Burleson, and we very much appreciate him sharing his perspective and what he saw and what he heard. And the sobering takeaway from him is, in my opinion, the words, "Is this real?" And the fact that he said, listen, I grew up in Burleson, and, you know, kind of spoke to the fact that this is not the place I expect this to happen. I want to bring our J.D. Miles into the picture. J.D., I know you just rolled up. Thanks for jumping on real quick. I don't know if you heard Dylan's interview there, but sobering what happened there. This is just an ordinary night at the Sam's Club. All of a sudden, the doors swing open. There's a guy with a gun, and as I said before, you have no idea if this guy's going to turn and he's going after everybody inside the Sam's Club. I cannot imagine the fear in there of employees and customers. But then he turns, and then that volley of gunfire with officers outside. Take us through what you know and what you've seen since you've rolled up.
Well, that thorough witness account that you got from that young employee is really more than anything we've gotten so far from any of the authorities out here, including Burleson Police, Corsicana Police, Texas Department of Public Safety, Texas Rangers, Johnson County Sheriff's Office. Those are some of the many different law enforcement agencies still on the scene here outside the Sam's Club. We are mere maybe 100 yards away from where this shooting happened. You can see the entrance behind me. You can see the police tape around it. Police cars and sheriff's deputies and state troopers surrounding it. I've reached out to several sources. They're still trying to gather information about what happened here, but it sounds like what we heard from that young witness again is going to be the account that police give us in some form, which is a man who was being pursued by authorities around this area in Burleson, ended up here in the parking lot of the Sam's Club. It's on Burleson Boulevard, but it's right off 35, about 10 minutes south south of Fort Worth. And so he got out here. He apparently walked up with his shotgun, went inside the entrance. According to that employee, got inside the store, and that's where, fortunately, some brave officers fired at him. And we now know that apparently a Corsicana police officer was hit, was wounded, transported, but again, hopefully in stable condition. We've not gotten an update on that for quite some time, not since about 8 o'clock, but that officer is apparently going to be okay, at least we think. The Cleburne the Cleburne mayor has issued a statement saying that this Cleburne officer is in their thoughts and prayers, and they appreciate the other responding police departments who are assisting. We still are waiting for more information about that, more information about this shooting. We do have some witnesses around here we're going to try to talk to, also some that apparently may have caught some video of the aftermath of this that we're trying to secure also. So once we get all that, we'll hopefully have a better picture of what happened out here. But again, it's still a very active scene. Just happened just a mere 2 hours ago or so, and police arrived quickly. They were able to fortunately stop this from becoming what could have been a mass casualty situation with a lot of victims. As we know, this Sam's Club is very popular. It was getting close to closing time, and certainly customers we're very fortunate to have police there to neutralize this suspect who is dead. We're waiting for more information from police. Doug, we'll try to get that back to you when we can.
Yeah, appreciate that, J.D. And the Cleburne officer, just for clarity, officer is at a hospital, is stable, which is great news. Waiting update on all of that, obviously. But real quick before I let you go, doesn't have to be long, but the rest of this night, when you have an exchange of gunfire like this, and then you've got a dead body there as well, in this case the suspect, this is going to be an incredibly long night for the investigators. This could go into tomorrow morning. Is that reasonable?
I'm sure it will. The Texas Rangers have started handling a lot of these investigations since some of the sort of as a result of the George Floyd incident. A lot of police departments started to, in Texas, in North Texas particularly, started to turn over these investigations to the Texas Rangers to have an outside eye, watch and investigate these things. So the Texas Rangers are here. We know that. Police officers are going to be gathering information. I know some of the attorneys who represent those police officers in their roles are out here also gathering information, because any officers who fired their weapons will be placed on some sort of restrictive duty until they can be cleared. And so, yeah, there will be a lot of interviews, a lot of forensic evidence collected out here, and these officers are going to work through the night to make sure they get it all.
All right, J.D., we're going to let you get going. We'll see you at 10 o'clock over on CBS News Texas on Channel 11. Thank you, brother. We appreciate that. The update from J.D. Miles. So let me briefly recap. We've got the situation that unfolded inside and outside the Sam's Club in Burleson. It's the one right off of 35W, just about 10, as J.D. said, about 10 minutes or so south of Fort Worth. Burleson Honda right next door. The chase came to an end here, and we believe it's a what looked like a Ford pickup truck, I think, that is wedged in between two Cleburne PD SUVs. And then, as described by a witness there, Dylan, who we spoke with earlier, the suspect jumps out. A male suspect runs through the front door of the Sam's Club and has a rifle of a sort in hand. And then the fear and chaos inside the Sam's Club is one thing, but then that man turns around and begins a barrage of gunfire being exchanged with the officers outside. One officer hit. Again, that officer is stable tonight, but the suspect who barged into the Sam's Club with the rifle is dead tonight. There's a lot unfolding here. We're going to work on this for CBS News Texas coming up for you at 10 o'clock. But I can tell you also of note, nobody else injured that we are hearing about, which is also great news when you consider the chaos between the employees as well as the customers who may have been inside this Sam's Club tonight. Thank goodness all are likely okay. I believe by now we would have heard if somebody had been hurt, and cross my fingers that we don't get any of that news over the next hour. So with that, thanks for joining us here on the stream. We sure do appreciate your time, always breaking in when we need to you for the very important stories breaking all across North Texas. Consolidated update with everything we know, including our J.D. Miles, who will be live there for us. We'll see you for CBS News Texas at 10 o'clock on Channel 11. For the moment, Doug Dunbar and the entire team here at CBS News Texas, thanks for watching. We'll see you at 10 o'clock on Channel 11.